Hey everyone, I'm Alanah and welcome to my channel where today we are doing a reaction to Night City Wire Episode 3. This video is sponsored by Scavengers, which basically just means there'll be one of my ads in the middle of it rather than one of YouTube's ads all throughout. So I have already watched this, but because I was doing live production because I was hosting the Twitch stream, it kind of means you miss a lot of information because you're trying to organize what the post show is going to look like. So now is technically my second watch through, but I'm going to be able to pay a lot more attention and kind of digest more details, which I'm very excited about. Also, so let's do it. I love this song that they keep using. Very good stuff. It's a good intro. It's tasty. Okay.
Hello and welcome to
Hello,
Night
Holly.
City Wire Episode 3, the show from us at CD Projekt Red, where we talk about all things Cyberpunk 2077. In today's episode, we're going to start by taking you on a tour of Night City in a new gameplay video.
For the record,
and have a chat with senior
Night City fully
Miles.
does, like,
Then
my
we're
playing
gonna
experience
introduce
is
you to the
everything that
gang
they're showing
of
you.
Night
It's not
City
fake.
in
It really does
another
look like
new
that.
gameplay video, and have a chat with Matayush from our quest team.
For anyone who doesn't know,
finish today's episode, we're going to give
I
you
played
a look
4
at
hours
some
of the game.
the incredible finalists in
My
our
audience,
PC case
so cool.
contest.
My audience makes fun of me for how often I bring that up, but I do it in case this is the first of my Cyberpunk videos that you have seen.
So let's get started. It's time to take you on a tour of Night City.
Wonderful. Wunderbar. Dankeschön. It was also announced yesterday that I am in the game, but I love this game regardless. I want to inject all of the information into my veins.
Oh my god, Juanita here. Today's news is Novamax.
Hi there. New to Night City? It's not so bad here.
What it looks like.
Today, because I feel amazing.
The food. The Thai on 7th and Haywood. The pierogies down by the docks.
I did, like, while I was playing, occasionally see repeated NPC types.
And as always, your business is my business.
Which is something that's
And
standard
this
for video
is your
games,
world.
obviously. But I feel like people may have expectations where NPCs are concerned that they maybe shouldn't have, in some cases. All this, the TV broadcast stuff you see is often shown in, like, elevators or on billboards, I think, as well. I definitely saw live talk shows while I was in elevators, which is
Endless
super cool.
possibilities. And endless
So much personality.
We are fucked, America. And I don't know how we're gonna fix it.
The homeless population in Night City has risen by 300%.
Apparently they, like, individually drew
Crime in Night
garbage,
City is now double
trash.
the rate than in the new United States.
I love it so much. It's just so much detail, you know?
You want to be some kind of hero.
But that's a fight this city won't let you win.
On your own, you're fucked.
Thanks, Keanu. Yeah.
Well, on that note, that's it for today's info flash. Sleep tight, Night City. The grass ain't greener anywhere else.
Night City.
That's
What
Badlands.
does it mean to you? How well do you know its history?
We're definitely
Who was
seeing
rich
some of the
and not?
districts here too.
How
Like,
many stations
you can
are
just
in the
visually
N-Club
see how
system?
different they are.
Which
which I
city
love.
district boasts the best burrito in town? The answers to these questions and more can be found at the address at the bottom of your screen.
It's a real website, by the
Check
way.
it
I
out
went to
and
it.
fall in
God, I look
love
so
with Night
blue.
City all
My white
over.
balance is having trouble with the fact that I'm wearing makeup today. I'm assuming that that song is an original for the game. It's really nice. I like it a lot. Super excited about the soundtrack. That's the one.
Well, since Night City is one of our stars of this episode, there is actually quite a lot to talk about. So let's start at the beginning. How did Night City come to be? Because yes, it exists in the world of the tabletop, but how do you take that and make what we've got now?
Well, yeah, as you can imagine, making a city that is as big and complex as Night City is quite the ambitious
It's quite
project.
big.
First off, we sat
Can
down
confirm.
and we were really considering
Pretty big.
what is it that we wanted to do with Night City. In a way, Night City is the star of Cyberpunk, right? It is one of its main characters. We wanted to make a city that is very, very believable, right?
I loved,
the word immersion gets thrown around a lot, but really,
when I
we
played,
wanted you to be able to
how
dive into
different
it and feel
people's
like this is a
styles
real
and fashion
place.
senses are.
And then secondly, we also wanted to provide enough variety between districts so that exploring Night City will always be fun, right? There's no point in making a city that is all same-ish, and it doesn't really matter where you go, because once you've been through one district, you feel like you've been through all of them. So for that, we first off started taking a look at the real-life geography that Night City is located on, and that would be on the coast of California. Knowing that Night City would be a coastal city gave us a bit of insight into what we would expect from the city layout. You'd expect the port, you'd expect huge industrial areas that would facilitate this kind of
Got some
trade
LA
that
vibes. I feel
you
like
would
that's
assume
consistent.
A city of this type would have with the world. And then we went through and actually divided the city into several districts, 6 of them, and some of them are based on the original lore. We decided to give their own characteristics in terms of architecture, their demographics, the kind
some
of people that would
Arasaka
live
shit right there,
and also the function within the city. Each of these districts, in turn, we divided into further sub-districts, which we further characterized using the more grand theme of the larger district. This process, I think, has resulted in a city that feels quite alive, has a lot of character.
Jackie's
where
dancing.
each
I didn't catch that
district
last time.
Feels like its own
get to
distinct
dance with
zone
Jackie.
without feeling
Love it.
separated from the larger picture. And that results in something that allows the player to easily navigate even the complex concrete jungles of Night City simply by looking around and always having a rough idea where you actually are.
But Night City is clearly
Checks out.
so different from anything we've ever created with The Witcher. Can you give us some idea about, or some insight into just how big and how densely packed Night City really is?
It's a good question.
Yes.
Thank you, Holly.
I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying that Night City is easily the most complex thing that I or the others have worked on. The city is
I don't doubt that.
super organic, right? It's not like a chessboard layout, but the layout of the city is crazy, and you can tell that it grew in phases, right? Where buildings have been built on top of each other, and I guess the mega buildings that we have showcased are a great example of this. You'll actually see that they are located on some kind of pillar, and then expand outside and then up high into the sky, and underneath it
These
you'll
complex
have
felt like a
space
city in
for
its
other
own.
buildings. This yields a lot of interesting experiences when it comes to exploration.
Very
and
dread.
That's the one thing I'm most excited
Ooh, that's
about for
pretty.
players to experience. We've been saying that our exploration is super vertical, right? But what this really means is that it changes the way you explore the city. Compared to our previous games, you won't be able to easily set out on a target in the distance, right? You won't be able to say, oh, there's a castle on a hill over there, I'll try to get there, and then you'll be lost on the way. But here it's much more intimate, much more moment to moment. You might be roaming the cities and get a call by your fixer who informs you about a job nearby that you might be able to do, right? Or you find an alleyway and you walk down one of the many, many alleyways that the city has to offer, and it's always a surprise. You don't know if you might stumble upon some gangers hanging out that are up to no good. Sometimes, and these are the moments that I often get surprised with, you'd even stumble upon the odd elevator that is meant to connect parts of the...
I thought they were loading screens. Dev told me today that they aren't.
And it's quite astonishing sometimes.
That elevator's not loading screens. I don't know how they're
when you enter one of
how they're loading this game. I don't understand how
this
it's
is
so big
actually
with
how
no
it
loading
connects
screens.
to the world. That's crazy. And now I'm here, and now I know
The elevators
there's a
literally
shortcut
are
that
to just
I can
move you
take.
between things. It's
And
crazy.
Again, this all serves to really enhance this sense of wonder that we all come to love from open world games, and the whole city is built to cater to that.
I mean, you guys have really brought Night City to life, and I really want to make a point of that. It is a living, breathing city. So as a level designer, can you give us some insight into those little touches that you guys have made? Because I hear you guys have even been placing rubbish by hand.
Oh yes, we've been placing quite a bit of rubbish, and that's certainly one of the more glorious parts of being a level designer or an environment artist, where you get to litter the streets that you've spent time building with the garbage. But it's details such as this that
crazy
we
that
find
it's somebody's job.
important to make the city feel alive, and also we take great pride in the process of making this, right? We have a lot of fun actually placing a lot of what we call mini stories, right? These are little encounters that you
When I
can
played,
find when you simply walk along the
I explored
streets.
a
Of course,
lot
we have
of the indoor
huge
environments
quests, right?
to
Side
see
quests. We have lots
how
of
fleshed out
side
they were.
activities that you can do, but it
Tons of
always
detail.
is nice
Tons.
to just kind of stop down for a minute and take a look at your surroundings that we have so lovingly created, and try to see if there maybe isn't something that you can be a little detective for. Now, one other thing that I think is really cool is also the fact that we have actually named every single street in the city. So not only will NPCs be able to communicate their locations or the locations they want you to visit by sort of referring to the street names, but also you will be able to talk to your friends about it in that way, right?
That's cool.
Have you been to Poplar Street in Japantown, for example? And I think this is a small detail, but the philosophy that we have with these kind of things is that, you know, many small things
didn't catch that either.
contribute to the sum of it, which is hopefully then you being able to explore a city that you feel is truly alive and that you haven't been experiencing before.
It's time to interrupt this broadcast with a scheduled advertisement. Seriously, I'm here to tell you guys about a game you might not know about called Scavengers, developed by Midwinter Entertainment, who are a game development studio established by veterans of Halo, Battlefield, Gears of War, among many others. Actually, Josh Holmes co-founded the studio, who you might know as a past studio head of 343 Industries, or the dude that I interviewed on this channel like 7 years ago, because I'm sure you all watched that video. So, Scavengers is a strategic survival battleground. You can enter a free-to-play action shooter where squads of 3 compete to survive and dominate in a hybrid of sandbox-style PvE and class-based PvP. There are a bunch of different explorers, a bunch of different unique abilities and weapons, and an opportunity for you to conquer the challenges of a hostile wasteland. I am here to tell you that the game does have a technical playtest this weekend from September 18 to 20. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can sign up to check out the playtest. There's no catch. That's all you have to do. Just check it out. If you're interested in the game, which for the record takes place in the far future after a cataclysmic asteroid strike has shattered the moon and plunged Earth into a second ice age. An alien virus contained within the asteroid has corrupted life on the planet, giving rise to savage and twisted creatures, including former humans. It's pretty messed up. And yeah, the game will be coming to PC in 2021 and to PS4 and Xbox One at a later date. I will say that, sorry to talk over you, Holly.
Your insight. I suppose when the game launches, you could be an
No, I'm just distracted by her anyway, though.
Right?
I might be, yeah. You know, if this game dev thing doesn't work out for me.
There were like hallways that just sort of ended for no reason. Like one of them literally just went to black when I played, but for the most part, even areas of locations that you wouldn't go to had loads of detail.
Now, from the 6th Street to the Valentinos, it's time to introduce you to the gangs of Night City.
You know how things work in
Pretty
Night
shot.
City?
Damn.
The stronger survive. But that's how things stand. You're either somebody, or you fizzle out into nothing.
Didn't see
Play
in a
Nomad.
city that lets you get by without buddies.
Be very careful, my friend. We are all so far from home.
Which gang's the city's biggest and baddest, according to the NCPD?
I'm most scared of the animals,
Scavs
I
hold the
think.
body count title. Or Maelstrom, depending on the season.
One time, a Maelstrom ganger killed a young kid right in front of my eyes for shits and giggles.
Chrome-sucking psychos.
And who the fuck are you to say what can and can't be?
Or
I'm
Death Gut
gonna
Quest. I
introduce
played that one.
you to our meat grinder. About time we had some fun! Think Maelstrom never forgets? Never!
They got little clubs for their own gang. It's cute.
Just a gang like any other, right?
I'll take the Valentinos. They follow God and the Santa Madre. Honor means something to them.
How'd you meet Jackie?
We started out together.
In the Valentinos?
No, in the fucking Bible book club.
I gotta give style points to the Valentinos. They have a punishment for every occasion.
I met him.
Gangster life, puto!
Quick shout out to everyone
He's a
from Haywood and
fixer.
Santo Domingo. Lately, the Valentinos and 6th Street have had a bigger bone to pick.
6th Street. Why'd they want to wipe you?
I can't fucking
6th Street are like
Tinos.
soldiers, basically. Yeah, I did that
I've dealt
exact
with 6th
interaction.
Street before. We do the run, they'll transfer the cred.
Come on, let's go before 6th Street shows up. Shot! Any more Second Amendment fans in the house, huh?
Hate those bastards. Vomit lofty patriotic bullshit all day. Time to bring on the future.
Nice, Keanu, nice.
Any idea how many attacks from behind
Voodoo Boys
the
are
Black
very
Wall
cool.
were neutralized? If the Voodoo Boys breach the Black Wall, we'll all be fucked.
Voodoo boys. Urban myth, I thought.
Net runners spooking each other. No such gang.
You know, I heard a few things about you. The Voodoo Boys, best runners in town.
You do not steal from the Voodoo Boys. I see you, always.
Oh, he's so
For
cool
them,
looking.
Pacificas just hate each
I
other.
love that style.
Their own island, cut off from the rest of the city.
This is our turf, our home. Until last week, the animals crawled in.
Animals are the craziest
Terrifying.
fucking gang in
Terrifying. That song. I love that. What is it?
Animals aren't the play here, are they? They're hired muscle. Someone else needed them.
I fucked
I'm
you
good, hard
over,
pass.
You fucked the gang over. Somewhere at the start of the story, somebody fucked the corp. See how this works now?
Meredith Stout. You can romance
My
her.
husband's new Westbrook.
Okay, I know
Very
almost
high
nothing
in
about
the
Tiger.
Tiger Claws. They did what made the best eddies. Sold sex and black market tech.
See a lot of tigers. They run this place.
Know what else they do well? Break the knees of people who ask questions.
I gotta do something. Shut the fuck up. The tigers will kill us.
Sort of like Yakuza.
Come on, baby.
Mox is
Tiger
a
Claws killed one
super
girl
interesting.
too many, so people took matters into their own hands.
The dev I spoke to today was saying that they're like militarized sex workers. It was like,
girls, pimps,
I'm into it.
outcasts, the whole freak
Cool.
show. It's how the Mox got started.
Think you're some kind of gangoon now, huh?
Us Moxes have each other's back. We look out for one another. You looking for some company tonight?
How'd you hook up with the Mox?
I thought Susie and
Judy.
the gang could really change
I like her a
something
lot.
in this city.
I think I'm gonna romance her.
Moxes and nomads don't seem so different. Both seem to yammer a lot about community, solidarity. Tell me about the Badlands. Not much going on out here, huh?
Au contraire. This is an ecosystem. Nomads, wrapped in shiv, corporations, and drifters, they form a complete whole. Remove one part, the delicate balance topples.
Here in the Aldecaldos, it all stays in the family.
Classic dilemma. What comes first?
I really feel like we know
Family
nothing
or
about
the
what's
outside
outside the
world?
city walls. Super curious.
This family will go to hell and back.
Everyone in this
I guess I
city
like
lives
it.
in
I like
their
that I
own
only
bubble.
know. I know the
And
first
either
5
you
hours of the
fly
game, I would
high
say.
or
Like,
sink
quite
into
well.
quicksand.
I know pretty much exactly what happens. Still have so many questions, and I love that
Matthew,
about it.
thank
They
you
did
so
say
much for joining
the
us.
main quest
I've
is shorter than
personally
it was in
been
The Witcher
really
3.
excited to
Because
give
apparently people
a
complained The
closer
Witcher
look
3
at
was
the
too long.
gangs. We've shown a little bit on Twitter, but their styles are so distinct.
Yes, I enjoyed them a lot as well in our game. I think they're very cool.
But let's start then with the kind of role that they play, because gangs really do play a prominent role in Night City, correct?
Yes, definitely. The gangs, they
Did also
rule the
confirm
streets
today
of
you
Night
can't join
City.
a gang.
You know, they have the newest cyberware, they have the newest weaponry, and they are really a power that everyone needs to take into account when they are thinking of operating in Night City. You will
It's
encounter
interesting how
them
much
as
power
you
they have.
explore
I
the
wonder
city,
how that
of
works
course, but also
versus
as you
Militech and
complete main
Arasaka.
quests, side quests, different jobs for the fixers. Sometimes you might even get hired by them.
But then, I suppose everybody's thinking then, can you join a gang?
Well,
there
V is a merc, and mercs of Night City are this unique, distinct group that stick mostly to themselves, right? And they get jobs from variety of factions. They can get jobs from corporations, they can get jobs from gangs, they can get jobs from different kind of like influential clients. Because of this, nobody will ever trust a merc to be one of them, right? And the gangs are no exception here. They
They're like
are looking only
freelancers.
for like people that they know will be loyal to them, right? And that they will fight for their cause all of the time, not just some of the times when it's profitable to them. So because of this, V will mostly stick to the afterlife. And the afterlife are this group of mercs, this legendary group of mercenaries
so
in Night
the
City.
afterlife is like
They
a
get
club,
the
not a
best
gang,
jobs, they get the
is
most
what I was told
money,
today.
the best clients, and so on. So if you want to become a legend in Night City, you are going to the afterlife.
So we've obviously mentioned distinct style then. So does that mean there are kind of special gang-themed weapons and items and clothing for players to find and use?
Yes, definitely. There are different vehicles that you can drive, for example. There are cars, there are motorbikes.
It sounds like there are
of
lots
course,
of
there are
vehicles,
different pieces of clothing.
Yeah, I'm Team Moxes now. I think
in
it's cool
different
as hell.
gangs. There are weapons and so on. So yeah, definitely there are things to look forward to.
Didn't get to try a katana.
I suppose as somebody who's spent as much time as you have kind of getting to know the gangs, I have to ask, which is your favorite and why?
So I would have to say probably Maelstrom. Simply because they have
They're
this
crazy.
unique, distinct feel and this weird aesthetic about them.
Creepy as hell.
So the idea
They look
about
like
Maelstrom
spiders.
is they are people who want to cross the boundary between the machine and human, right? They are changing so much of their body with cyberware that they no longer look human, really. On top of that, they're also very unpredictable. It's very difficult to say what they will do at any point when you meet them. At one moment, they can be shaking hands with you, and at the other moment, you know, they will pull gun out on you, and they bring in this element of chaos into the game, which I really enjoy, personally.
Oh, Matty, thank you so much for joining us.
Cool with it.
It's always interesting to learn what your favorite gang is. I think it kind of tells me a little bit about you.
Oh, does it? What does it say about me?
Well, we'll talk about that later. But for now, before we wrap up today's episode, we asked people to show us their creativity.
This stuff is really cool. I didn't know they were doing this today. I can't believe how every time I see it, I'm so blue. My webcam's so off. It's a very small cut on my lip that it's made look enormous.
Professional case modders to bring their concept
This is very cool.
reality.
I didn't know they were doing this, and then they're auctioning one off for charity, I suppose?
These 5 amazing designs will be fighting for the main prize, an Alienware Aurora PC, along with other awesome gaming peripherals. Brought to you by our partners, Alienware, Nvidia, and SteelSeries. Let's see the mods.
It's so rad.
I absolutely love this one.
Are you kidding?
The whole aesthetic works with each other.
Absolutely next level. Honestly, kind of terrifying.
That's so nuts.
Exactly
so
the
cool.
type
The
of
creativity's
I would
just
expect
awesome.
to find at a trade show.
It really looks like it could have come straight out of the game.
Bonkers, man. It's like, I'm sort of scared of it. Like, ugh, very cool.
To watch the full PC case modding video and to get more information about when the winning design will be available on charity auction, stay tuned to our
Cool that they're
social
doing
media
that.
channels.
I respect it.
Looking at those PC case mods, it reminds me that we do have one more thing to reveal.
The specs.
If you're going to be playing Cyberpunk 2077 on PC when it launches this November, we do have some specs to share that I think some of you have been waiting for. The minimum system requirements for Cyberpunk are a Windows 7 or 10 PC, an Intel Core i5.
I definitely remember this and like spoke about this at length, but ultimately,
FX 8310.
minimum requirements are lower than I expected.
And an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 780 or an AMD
and
Radeon
the game,
RX 470.
she's about to say it.
In the storage department, the game will take up roughly 70 gigs of space.
Way smaller than I thought.
Although it will run off a HDD, we do recommend an SSD. As for the
It's
recommended
just,
specs,
I don't know
in
how
the
this
green,
game
we're
runs.
looking
I don't
Windows 10,
understand. Night
an
City's
Intel
huge.
Core i7
Dev told me today
4790
elevators aren't
or
loading screens, which is how a lot of people
AMD
hide loading, you know, Dead Space
3200G.
effect. I don't know how this game
12
functions.
and an
Like,
NVIDIA
but it's so
GeForce
big and there's so many
GTX
moving parts.
1060 or AMD
How?
Radeon R9 Fury.
It's how?
Thank you so much for joining us for
incomprehensible to me.
episode 3 of Night City Wire. Don't forget that if you've missed anything or if you just want to watch again, we will be uploading everything to our channels shortly, and we will be back soon with episode 4.
Wonderful. I guess it's probably one more episode before the game comes out, November 19th. I think that's it. It looks like there's a little bit left on the video, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing actually left. Yeah. Another really good one. Super into it. Super excited. The only thing that I'm still really, really not sold on, including the little bit of gameplay that we saw there with the fight against the animal, who still mostly was terrifying, is melee combat. I didn't get to try it. I stupidly didn't try it. So I can't speak to it myself, but I don't... It doesn't look great to me, so that's the only thing that I'm not like 100% sure about, like including what we saw today, but everything else. Happy with it. Super fucking excited. That's my genuine opinion. I am also in the game and do have to tell you that. But, you know, it is also like literally beside that. Fucking excited regardless. Glad to hear that we get another one of these too. I will take this content forever until the game comes out. Alrighty, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye!